うんざりだ。お前らにはどいてもらう。
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Where today guys, we are back with another video of OPBR School, but we now have an official name for it, and that is Bounty Rush Academy. I think it's a pretty fitting name. Let me know what you think about it. But anywho, yeah, we are back with another guide slash tutorial video, and today's tutorial is going to be on Defenders. Yay! So I did I did a poll on my community post. You should go check that out. And I asked you guys, what guide video would you like to see next? And majority of you said Defenders. So we have a winner, ding ding ding. Yeah, so here we are with the Defender guide. As you guys know, I am a huge Defender main. I love the Defender role to death. It's my favorite role in the entire game. I have so much fun playing it. Not a lot of people like the Defender role. Like, I'm telling you guys this right now. If we didn't have Gear 5, Whitebeard, and S-Snake in the game, I guarantee you we wouldn't have any Defenders. And I guarantee you, no one will be playing Defenders if we didn't have EX Defenders. Betting right now. But anyway, yeah, Defenders is not a very popular role, but a lot of people wanted a guide on it, so here we are with it. So just like the attacker guide video, if you guys have seen that, I'm going to be going over the 4 basic things that you should know about Defenders, or rather that can help you get better with Defenders. So A would be the different types of Defenders that you can expect in the game, and also what makes them so special. B, what character should you go for when it comes to Defenders? You know, what should you spend your Emerald Diamonds on? C, what metal set should you use on Defenders so that way you can get the most out of them? And lastly, D, how to properly play Defenders. Like, what's like the most optimal way of playing them? So if that all sounds good to you, let's get on with it. But first, here's some timestamps right here that you can skip to a certain part that you want to get to, you know. But without any further ado, let's start off with lesson number 1. Alrighty guys, so as I said in the beginning of the video, we're going to be starting off with lesson number 1, and that is, what are the different types of Defenders that you can expect in OPBR? Now, before I get into that, I would like to bring up a hidden trait that Defenders have that not a lot of people, you know, kind of do because they're stupid. No offense. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you know, but Defenders have the ability to charge the trigger gauge faster than other classes, right? I'm going to put some gameplay on the screen right now. Defenders is on the left, Attackers is in the middle, and Runners on the right. As you can see, the Defender is charging the trigger gauge a lot faster than the Attacker or Runner would do. This is why whenever the match first starts off, it's very ideal that the Defender is the one that grabs first flag, while everyone else focuses on getting second flag or mid flag, because the Defender can just chill back, charge trigger gauge, and just make it harder to grab. Like, charging the trigger gauge is not like a absolute must-have, but it's very ideal because you want to make it take longer for people to grab your flag. Because who knows, man, charging that trigger gauge could literally be the difference between you winning or losing a match because the person couldn't grab the flag in time because the trigger gauge was charged up. So yeah, it's very ideal that you do that. It's not like a absolute must-have, but I would very recommend that you do that. But anyway, now since we got that out of the way, let's move on to the different types of Defenders. So there are 2 different types of them, just like Attackers. There's A, the ones that rely on damage reduction, and then there's B, the one that relies on defense stacking. Let's focus on A first, as it's like the simplest to explain, I would say, but also kind of complicated at the same time. So when it comes to damage reduction doesn't rely on your defense stat. You know, like the 3 different stats, the HP, attack, and defense. Yeah, it doesn't rely on that. Rather, think of damage reduction as like its own subcategory, right? Because like, you know, like when some things say when your HP is above so and so amount, reduce damage by 30%. It's like its own subclass. So like if you have a damage reduction of 50%, it's just pretty much just doing math equations. It's like taking 2,400 damage, and since you have 50% damage reduction, it's subtracting that, or rather it's dividing that by 2, so rather you only took 1,200 damage instead. It's pretty much, that's what damage reduction is. It's like its own separate category. It doesn't show you how much damage reduction you're taking. However, if you can do math and you know how much damage reduction you have, you can go off that. And so let's take Kaku for instance, right? Kaku has a lot of damage reduction. He is a defender that relies on damage reduction. He can go up to 100 and something percent, 150%, somewhere around there. But do keep in mind though that just because the defender has 150% damage reduction does not actually mean they have 150%. Damage reduction does have a cap. The cap is 100. You cannot go above 100% damage reduction. So if you see someone that says, you know, if you have damage reduction of like 180%, like page 1 for instance, that's not possible. You're only going to have 100%. That's it. So keep that in mind when making damage reduction metal sets, as you don't want to go overboard and you end up just wasting a metal slot or two because you went over the damage reduction limit. So yeah, keep that in mind when using defenders that rely on damage reduction. So that's about it for that. Let's move on to the B method, which is defense stacking. So, excuse me, just like attack stacking, defense stacking just takes whatever your stat is on your defense and adding on to that. Let's take this trait right here, for instance. Whenever you knock back an enemy, increase your defense by so-and-so percent, max is so-and-so percent. It's going to take that max percentage or whatever percentage is at the time, and it's going to add on to the stat that you already have. So let's say, for instance, your base defense stat is like 3,000. It's going to add 70% onto that 3,000. So now you're even more tanky. So it's very ideal that whenever you're making metal sets, you focus on defense, so that way you can add even more on top of that 70%. If said character relies on defense, that is. So yeah, that's about it really when it comes to the two different types of defenders. So let's move on to lesson number 2, shall we? Alrighty guys, so here we are with lesson number 2 of today's video, and that is, what character should you go for, or rather what should you spend your rainbow diamonds on? So we all know there are 3 different types of characters in OPBR. There's the step up characters, the bounty fest characters, and the EX characters. We're going to start with the EX characters first, as that's like the ones that most people want. That's like the one you spend thousands upon thousands of rainbow diamonds for. So when I'm talking about these characters, we're going to be taking 2 things into consideration. 1, how easy the character is to use, so that way you won't struggle too hard using them. And 2, how often do you see them in League? Like, is this character meta? Is this character just usable? We're about to find out. So the first character that I want to talk about is a character that is very prominent in League right now, and is just making League kind of almost impossible to grab flags from. And that character is S-Snake. S-Snake right now in League is extremely annoying. She just makes grabbing the flag near impossible. The only shot you have of taking S-Snake out is by using a counter, but even then, it still takes a bit of time to shred her health down due to her just being kind of a tank lord. If you're wondering what makes this S-Snake so good, well, for one, she's a defender that relies on damage reduction, but it's not a lot of damage reduction. She has only 30% damage reduction. However, she has another trait that allows her to decrease the enemy's attack. So since she's decreasing their attack and she has a bit of damage reduction, she's able to tank through the enemy's attacks and stuff. So it makes taking her out a lot harder if you're not going to hit as hard. On top of this, S-Snake has the unique ability to teleport to the flag that's furthest away from her. So it can make grabbing a flag from her almost impossible, since she can just keep teleporting and get to a flag that's closest to you and just, get you off of it. And on top of that, she's really hard to hit. She has a lot of ways of turning invincible. She has immune-free hits, which, if you don't know, immune-free hits allow you to take hits without actually taking damage. So she's allowed to have 3 of these when using skill 1. But like I said, if you can get rid of them, you are able to hit her again. But like I said, she gets skill 1 back pretty fast, especially if you run the right metal set. And skill 2 is an invincibility skill. She also can petrify you, so meaning you cannot move. Just overall, S-Snake is extremely annoying to deal with, and she's making League almost impossible to play. So yeah, I will definitely suggest her if you want yourself a really good defender. So let's move on to defender number 2, shall we? So this defender right now in League is still really dominant. Despite it being already a year since he last dropped, he is still really dominant. And matter of fact, his banner just came back recently, and that character is Gear 5 Luffy. Gear 5 is still a really prominent defender. This guy is still really good. If you want yourself a good defender, get him. He has the abilities and the capabilities to defend your flag and just overall make it just like S-Snake, almost impossible to grab the flag from if you play him right. If you're wondering what makes this Gear 5 so good, well, he has the ability to stack his defense. Simply by knockbacking the enemy, he increases defense by 20%, max is 70%. On top of that, this Gear 5, well, yeah, I should say this Gear 5, because there might be another Gear 5 in the future. This Gear 5 has the ability to change to every role in the game. He can switch between defenders, which is like his base form, attackers, and runners, depending on your actions. So if you attack an enemy inside their treasure area, you change to an attacker. If you try grabbing a flag, he changed to a runner. And by charging up the treasure gauge, you change to a defender. So this makes them very versatile, and it can help you change the your tactics mid-battle. Very helpful indeed. So yeah, as I said, Gear 5 is very good. If you got this guy, definitely use him. He's still a really good defender. All right, let's move on to defender number 3. So this defender right now is kind of hard to use, I would say, because there's a certain runner running around, making him pretty much impossible to use. However, if this runner's not around, you can use him perfectly fine with no issues. And that defender is Whitebeard. Like defender Whitebeard. This Whitebeard, I personally hate fighting this guy. I would rather fight S-Snake than Whitebeard, to be honest. I know it's kind of controversial because a lot of people hate S-Snake, but me personally, man, I just hate fighting Whitebeard. I don't hate the character itself, I just don't like fighting him. He's extremely annoying. I hate getting tremor every 5 freaking seconds every time I try grabbing a goddamn flag from him. He's just so annoying, man. But yeah, Whitebeard is extremely good. I will say, if you want him, you can go for him, you know. He's very good if used properly, and like I say, it's almost impossible to grab the flag if, again, played properly. So, if you're wondering what makes this Whitebeard so good, well, just like S-Snake, this Whitebeard relies on damage reduction. But unlike S-Snake, he doesn't reduce the enemy's attack, so you have to rely on pure damage reduction when it comes to him. However, this Whitebeard introduced something unique. I wouldn't say it's too unique because we've seen something similar to this, but not to this extent. So Whitebeard has the unique ability to put down shields in the treasure areas that he currently owns. So if you own all 5 treasure areas and do a skill 2, it will put down a shield at that treasure area. And if you're in the treasure area when he does this shield, it will tremor you. So if you're trying to grab the flag and you get tremored by the shield, you'll have to wait for the tremor to go away, and then you gotta break the shield, and then you can grab the flag. If he doesn't do the shield ability again, because he has an insane skill cooldown. So yes, Whitebeard, as I said, is very, very good. However, like I said, there's a certain runner running around that I will not mention, but some of you probably know who I'm talking about, that's making him kind of hard to use. So yeah, be careful of him. But other than that, Whitebeard is very good. So now let's get into how much it is for a guaranteed copy of each character, shall we? So if you want a guaranteed copy of S-Snake, it's going to cost you around 2,500 rainbow diamonds. If you want a guaranteed copy of Gear 5, and yes, I did the math right this time in his banner. I checked how much it was for a guaranteed copy, and it's around 3,000 rainbow diamonds. It could be wrong, just like in the Lucci video, but I did the best I could, okay? And if you want a guaranteed copy of Whitebeard, it's going to be around 3,800 rainbow diamonds. So yes, these numbers could be wrong. I could have them butchered completely wrong, but hey, I went on the internet, I did some research. You will not believe how long it took me to find these numbers, and well, that's the end result. So yeah, if you want any of these guys, that's how much it's gonna cost you. So that's it for the EX character, guys. So let's move on to the next category, which is the Bounty Fest characters. Alrighty guys, so Bounty Fest characters are pretty self-explanatory. Bounty Fest characters are just a downgraded version of an EX character, where they're as good as an EX character, however, they don't have as many traits as an EX character. So, I wouldn't be able to fit how much it would be for a guaranteed copy of a Bounty Fest, nor traits, in this screen because there's a lot of them that you can use. So I'm going to put a bunch of them on the screen right now. All of these Bounty Fest defenders are pretty good and you can use them in League. Will you like dominate League with them? No. But can you use them and still do really good? Yes. Some of them are better than others. Some requires a bit of skill to use, but overall, these are pretty good characters. And just like I said, they're a cheaper version of an ES character. So if you don't want to go for an ES character and you just want a good Bounty Fest defender, pick one of these characters up. They will carry you if used correctly. So that's it for the Bounty Fest characters. Let's move on to the final category of characters, which is the step up characters. So, excuse me, step up characters are the lowest of the low. They're at the bottom of the barrel. Step up characters aren't necessarily bad. However, they don't have the stats to keep up with the meta. Like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure step up characters stats aren't as good as like a Bounty Fest or an EX character stats are. And on top of that, their traits are kind of dookie. Some of their traits can be pretty terrible, but there are a rare occasion to where there's a really good step up defender. So I'm going to put some on the screen. There might not be too many, to be honest, because I don't really know some step up defenders off the top of my head besides Haguro. But yeah, some of these step up defenders on the screen right now, if you don't want to waste any Rainbow Diamonds on a Bounty Fest character, but you have the patience to buy their character fractions from the shop, you can go for these characters. They are actually not too bad if used correctly. Well, then again, some characters are only good if used correctly. All characters can be good if used correctly, I should say. But yeah, again, if you want to step up the defender, here you go. Pick one of these characters up and there you go. Alright guys, so that's it for lesson number 2. So let's finally move on to lesson number 3, shall we? Alrighty guys, so here we are with the next lesson of today's video, and that is what medals should you put on your defenders. So there are a multitude of different medals that you could put on your defender. So like provides them some damage reduction, some damage increase. Heck, give them capture speed, why don't you? If your defender is like Big Mom that can turn into a runner. But anyway, there are, like I said, there's a lot of medals that you can put on your characters. So I'm going to give you guys different medal sets that a lot of people seem to use when it comes to defenders that can offer you some damage reduction, damage increase, or, you know, just like what I said before. So without any further ado, let's hop into it. So the first medal set that I want to bring up is a medal set that is very common and very popular upon the defender community. I don't even know that is a community, I'm just saying that. And that is the Corazon medal, the Isho medal, and the Hobby medal. These 3 medals are very popular because they all provide you damage reduction. Now, the Hobby medal is only by 3%, but it's damage reduction at the end of the day. If you want your defender to be really tanky, I advise this medal set as it's very good. Now, I know what a lot of you are saying right now. Marcel, the Hobby medal is an event medal. I can't get it no more. Well, fear not, friend, as there are different medals that you could run besides the Hobby medal that can substitute it. I'm going to put them on the screen right now. Yes, some of them are event medals still, but this is for some people who has these medals and want to use them. And most of them are just medals that you can just use on the character itself. Some can give you HP recovery when you're not back. Some give you skill 1 cooldown reduction speed. It may not be damage reduction, but who knows? Maybe that skill cooldown reduction and HP recovery is what you need instead of more damage reduction, you know? So yeah, I 100% recommend this medal set. It's the best defender medal set, in my opinion. Number 1, I will say. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it, like I said. So the next medal set I want to get into is a medal set that, I mean, it's a medal set that everyone and their mama use because it's very popular and it has a lot of utility. And that is the Kaido medal set. The Kaido medal set is known to have a lot of skill 1 cooldown, and for good reason, is very good. Now, when it comes to the Kaido medal set, many people use Kaido medal, Conquerors of 3 Worlds Raikanaku medal, and Human Monster Form medal. But when it comes to this situation, I would recommend replacing the Human Monster Form medal for Blast Breath medal, as that gives you damage increase inside your character treasure, and I think that would be a lot more helpful than the skill and cooldown when you KO, because most of the time you're going to be defending, and most of the time there's some defenders that don't really tend to do that much damage. But if you're a defender who can kill a lot of people, like you're going to do like a lot of damage and get a lot of kills, then use Kaido Human Monster form. But if you want the damage increase, use Blast Breath. That's what I will say. Alright, so next metal set. This metal set is again very popular, but not as popular as the Kaido metal set. And this is a metal set that I don't really see many people use, but it's still really good, and that's the Luffy metal set. This one is very specific, as it just provides you just overall a bit of things that some defenders have. Like you got the Gear 5 metal that gives you HP recovery when you knock back. There's the Ray Luffy metal, just damage reduction overall. And then when it comes to the third metal, you can put whatever you want, but I would highly recommend Gear 5 and Ray Luffy metal, as those two are just like, you know, just things that defenders will have. Most defenders have knockback, most defenders need damage reduction, but if you don't have the proper metals, you can just mix and match with a different Luffy metal. It doesn't matter really. Luffy metals are overall have like a lot of utility, so you can just rock whatever you want when it comes to Luffy metal. But I would definitely recommend Gear 5 and Ray Luffy metal, as you know, those are pretty good. Alright, so that's about it when it comes to the metal sets for defenders. So now let's move on to the final lesson of today's video, and that is how to properly play as defenders. Alrighty guys, so here we are with the last lesson of today's video, finally, and that is how to properly play defenders. So I want to talk about this because a lot of people don't tend to play defenders properly. Rather, they go off and they, instead of actually defending flags, they go off to try to get kills. Let me go ahead and iterate this. You're not an attacker. Like, I understand pushing the enemy team, right? Like, let's say for instance the enemy team is close to losing a flag, and you got a person or two over there, and you just, you know, go over there and offer a helping hand so you can get the flag. But like, if the flag is like full or nearly full, and your team is like not even putting a dent into what the enemy team's doing, you have no business going over there. You might as well stay where you are and keep guarding the flags. Because what are you gonna do? Like, yeah, you got reinforcements, but like, you're not really adding on to the effort that's already being done. You're better off just watching the map, which we'll get into that in a second. You might as well continue watching the map, guard the flags, and play as the defender should be. Now, as I said before, let's get into the map. The map is your best friend, whether you're a defender, an attacker, or a runner. You need to watch the map. The map is essential for defending flags. Because let's say, for instance, you're playing as a character like S-Snake, who has to teleport. If someone's backcapping you and you know for a fact that's the flag furthest away from you, go ahead and teleport. Now, you may be wondering, like, okay, but what if someone's at the flag with me, though? You know, like the flag you're at before you teleported. What you do then? Then still teleport. Just go ahead and teleport, because if you know you can just teleport back to that flag, just go back and forth. Just keep teleporting over and over again. But if you're not S-Snake, you can't teleport, then you just keep defending the flag you're at. If the person that's grabbing a flag is like right next to you and you know you can snipe him off your flag, stop, like down the person or something, knock them back, and then, you know, use the little lock-on system. Log onto them, do your long range skill, knock it off, and then continue defending the flag that you're currently at. It's stuff like that can just, you know, stall out time, and then your teammate or another defender can just go over there and defend the flag while you're already defending another flag. But, you know, there's some defenders out there that can't do that, and if that is the case, then you just have to rely on your teammates. Just stay defending the flag. Look, as long as you're defending a flag and not being useless, then you're fine, okay? There's just some things that you just can't do, right? We can't do everything. You at least just know you tried your best, and at least you're actually doing something. You're defending the flag, and your teammates probably sold because they're not doing anything, you know? I just want to quickly bring this up because there's a lot of defender players who don't even play defender right. Like, again, I understand wanting to push the enemy team, but like, if you know for a fact you can't grab the flag, and you know, even if you go over there it won't work, then don't. Stay guarding the flags, especially if it's the last 10 seconds. Do not go out of your way to get a flag if it's like the last 10 seconds. Please, just guard the flags. Because I'm telling you, it's not worth it. That 4-1 is not worth it, fam. Yeah, you get extra treasure chances, but what happens within those 10 seconds? Someone could be backcapping you. You don't know it because you're too focused on grabbing a flag. So, yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This video took me a bit to make, but it was worth it though, because you know, someone's out there probably want to main defender or play defenders, and this video could help them out, you know. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys next video. All right, peace out.